This month on the World Sailing Show, the next generation go for big air in Tarifa. The sailing world unites to back the bid. And it's World Championship time for the world's leading monohull series. But first, if it flies above the water, then it's going to be featured at Foiling Week. This 4-day festival of foil-borne sailing takes place in Malcesine, on the shores of Lake Garda, Italy, the unofficial spiritual home of foiling. The event is in its 9th year and was founded by Luca Risotti.
September 2013, the Cup just finished, the one in San Francisco with the AC-72. We were having a glass of wine and we were just thinking, okay, if an 11-feet monohull can foil and a 72-feet catamaran can foil, let's connect the two items and just make sure that everything in between can foil. So we said, okay, how we do that? You need to get people to talk to make sure that the industry can go faster.
The celebration of flying is not just about the Moth, Wasp, ETF-26, One Fly and Wingfoil fleets which would be racing. There are a whole host of events on the schedule, including the Sumoth Challenge, a project for university students to create and manufacture a moth in an environmentally sustainable way.
The challenge to these students is to bring some innovative ideas, whether it's for materials, processes, or how to basically upcycle an old part that would end up in the trash, repair it and put it in their boat and make it sail.
Off the water, the inaugural Foiling Film Festival also took place. Top prize was won by Andrew English for his film Gone with the Wing, a piece about the Australians' bid to be the first person to wingfoil across the Bass Strait.
Festival, and thank you very much for coming here all the way.
Back on the lake, there was a chance for newbies to give foiling a go, and for experienced sailors to get their hands on the controls of the latest in foiling boat design, including the Peacock and the Birdiefish. Also on show was the Mantra 5, a hydrofoiling e-bike. For the first time, Foiling Week had special event status from World Sailing. The event was used to promote the Paralympic BackTheBid campaign, celebrate a record-breaking amount of female participants in the event, and pave the way for the next generation of sailors.
The announcement this week with the Foiling Youth World Series, we're going to see a lot more collaboration with major yacht clubs. We're going to see lots of collaboration with our member nations, and we're going to see a really great youth program that can take equipment globally and promote our sport like no other.
Foiling Week host Chris Musela also caught up with some Olympic medalists sailing at the event.
Anne-Marie, why is this event important? Is it more than just the racing you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm here to race the ETF, which is the foiling catamaran. It's a big necra, as we also call it. It's about racing and learning, but it's also about the social event here in Foil Week. It's awesome. Yesterday we had a breakdown on the boat, so we missed 2 races, but everyone was really helpful and trying to get us back on the water because they just want to race against everyone. So I think it's a great environment here.
Fantastic. Dylan?
Yeah, I'm here racing the Moth in the Moth fleet. It's cool, we've got like 68 boats. I think everyone loves coming back to Mount Chesney and Foiling Week, and especially the off the water, such a nice environment, like all the different like foils, boats, people, you know, it's great to see.
It's a magic environment, and I think Foiling Week has done something very special, and I hope that all the sailing world will capitalize on the good work is done here.
Sailing last featured in the Paralympics back in 2016. With its Back the Bid campaign in full swing, World Sailing has just submitted its proposal to get the sport reinstated.
Back the Bid campaign is essentially lots of sailors making lots of noise about getting sailing back into the Paralympic Games for LA 2028. And the uptake has been fantastic. The heroes and heroines of our sport have got right behind it. Sail GP, lots of Olympians, and they're essentially just joining on with this hashtag BackTheBid, which has been noticed. It's been a great campaign.
It is such an important sport for people with disabilities. It's a sport that really frees people up and allows them to get out and experience the elements.
The feedback that I'm getting often from parasailers is that they feel free, and our job is just to continue to make that accessibility as wide as possible.
Central to the bid has been a focus on inclusivity, alongside initiatives to grow participation in a sport which now has active parasailers in 41 countries.
We have a number of programs to grow the sport around the world. We've got the para development programs, and we try and train coaches and give advice on equipment and facilities. In this year, we're looking at 5 world championships in the para classes, which is a huge step forward and creates that drive for the young people who are looking towards sailing as a potential where they can get involved in a sport that is outdoors.
One of the biggest initiatives has been the Parasailing Development Programme, set up in 2017 to provide access to expertise and equipment across a range of disciplines.
We went out and trained coaches and created opportunity for people from a lot of countries to come to events around the world and to realize that this is a sport they can do and that there is opportunity globally for them. And it's really changed people's lives.
Sailing made its debut as a demonstration sport at the Atlanta Paralympics in 1996. 32 years later, it has a chance to return to the country where it all started.
For sailing to regain its place at the Paralympics in LA would be an amazing opportunity to grow the sport even further worldwide. It would improve the Paralympic Games because sailing is such an amazing sport for people with disabilities. And if we look back in 1996, it was a demo sport in the US, so it is an opportune moment for this to happen.
Over in Cascais, Portugal, the world's leading monohull circuit continued its 10th anniversary season with the Rolex TP52 World Championship. 9 boats, 10 races, and some of the biggest names in the sport. Quantum Racing with the Form team, having won round 1 of the 2022 52 Super Series in Bayona, but Sled were the reigning world champions. Light winds, though, meant the 5-day event could be unpredictable.
It doesn't really affect us at all. I mean, you come here expecting breeze and so you have to change that mentality. Beautiful sailing conditions.
It's the start of a long event. You'd probably put the favourites as Quantum and Platoon, and then maybe us and Sled as good chances also. Probably the underdogs slightly. I haven't been in that role too much lately, so I'm pretty pleased with that.
In 8 to 9 knot winds, it was Allegre who hit the top mark first ahead of Veilleux and Quantum. On the second beat, Quantum improved into second, but the first race of the World Championship went to Allegre. In the second race, Quantum were looking to go one better, but they jibed off early down the first run and Sled took full advantage, leading round the leeward gate and holding on for victory. But 2 second places left Quantum topping the scoreboard after day 1.
Luckily, we managed to survive the day and had 2 second places, which is a really good start. We came out there with a goal of getting to the last day with a chance to win, and we accomplished that today.
Day 2, and Quantum consolidated their lead with 2 more second-place finishes, but rivals Platoon finally came to the party in style. They led race 4 from start to finish to raise the morale of their owner-driver.
Everybody was tackling on us on the first upwind. I can't believe that. I mean, minimum 3 or 4 times.
The winds continued to be light in the opening race on day 3, but Tom Slingsby guided Phoenix to their first win of the week before Allegre secured their 3rd bullet in the second race ahead of Veilleux. Quantum, however, finished down in 6th, comfortably their worst result so far, allowing Veilleux to close the gap on the leaderboard to just 2 points.
We're hanging onto that cliff by our fingernails, but former races, you got to race every race, and everyone's racing, to win, and it's all wide open still.
The light winds continued on the penultimate day, but the sled crew pieced together a win in race 7, their second of the regatta. Like Allegro though, their week had been peppered with bad results, ending their chances of retaining their 2021 World Championship title. Race 8 saw a battle between Preveza and Platoon, and it was the latter that won out. With Veju having their worst day of the event, Platoon was suddenly the closest challengers to Quantum. To add to the tension on the final day, the famous Qashqai's northwesterly blew up. Great racing, but danger of damage.
It will be a tough day because a lot of boats we are on the game. We are close to Quantum, but other boats are close to us, so it will be a big fight. But the important thing is to remember how to sail the Qashqai's days with big waves and big windy.
With the breeze at over 20 knots, Platoon looked to have the advantage off the start, but Quantum played the shifts best and charged past Platoon to take their first win of the week at just the right time. In the final race, the two championship rivals finished down the fleet, while Preveza took the honour of winning the last piece of sailing action. Sled were second, while third for Allegre also gave them third overall. Platoon would have to settle for the runner-up spot as Quantum took the world title.
It just felt great to be on board. For many years, there would be world championships that I couldn't attend, and the team would sail and did well. But for the opportunity to be on the boat to sail in the Rolex Championship is just pretty special, and to win it's fantastic.
The world champions.
A month after hosting the Hempel World Cup Series, the Netherlands was back in the spotlight as the Youth World Championships arrived in The Hague. World Sailing's Emerging Nations programme meant that many international sailors had arrived early for a week of extra coaching and time on the water.
The Emerging Nations programme has given me the best coaching I've ever had in my life. I've learned so much. I feel really lucky to have gotten this opportunity.
It's been very exciting to put all my new skills that I've gotten from the programme, because I can now use them and they work.
While the emerging talents would battle it out with more experienced sailors like eventual winners Rocco Wright and Yves McMahon, the male and female ILCA 6 fleets were just 2 of 11 competing in The Hague. For the first time at the Youth Worlds, the windsurfers were foiling.
It's a big day for sure. It's going to be a part of windsurfing for the next 8 years. It's exciting to see all these new people coming through, see how it goes.
It's my first time in the youth class on a World Championship. To be here with the IQ foil gear, that's a very exciting gear to surf on.
Tamar Steinberg proved unstoppable all week, winning all her races on the way to a dominant gold. While in the boys' fleet, Charlie Dixon also sealed victory. Meanwhile, in Formula Kite, both competitions saw a straight duel between potential future Olympic stars. Max Mader from Singapore outfought Riccardo Pianossi of Italy in the medal race, while Poland's Julia Damasovic overcame Eloise Pegori of France to claim gold.
For now, I'm the youngest in the French team. I'm the only one who can do the Youth World Sailing. I hope to be on the 2024 in the Olympic Games in Paris. It's a big challenge. I hope I will get it.
Kitefoiling being an Olympic sport finally, it's settled now, it's confirmed. We got 2 medals for men and women. To be able to have athletes work towards that goal and being able to represent your country on the biggest stage possible, what a dream come true, it can't get any better.
67 nations were represented at the Youth this year, and in the 29er skiff classes, New Zealand secured bronze behind the British pair and the Argentinians, who proved unassailable. And it was the same in the female class, where Amparo Stupanengo-Pafor and Julia Pantin were the most consistent sailors throughout the week.
I'm very excited. I can't believe it, really. It's like huge. I don't know how this happened.
In the mixed Nacra multi-hull, the Swiss Axel Grandjean and Noémie Pellman took top spot, but were pushed all the way by the brother and sister pairing from Spain, who were making the most of their family bond.
It has been amazing to sail with the best sailors of all the worlds of different boats and being able to compete with them and learn from them.
There was more success for Spain in the 420s. After a closely fought week of racing, Maria Perello Mora and Marta Cardona Alcantara came through in the medal race for gold. That that result helped Spain grab the nation's trophy ahead of France and Italy. But for all 431 of these young competitors, the experience of racing at a World Championship was the most significant outcome of the week. With the Paris Olympics less than 2 years away, we're starting a regular meet and greet with some of the sailors who'll be hoping to go for gold. Our regular countdown gets underway with the Irish 49er pair.
I'm Sean Wadilov and I'm the 49er crew for Team Ireland.
I'm Robert Dixon and I sail 49er and I helm. I'm the helm, so I steer the boat and I make the strategy and tactics calls.
The crew is a bit more on physically in the boat. On the upwind it's main trim, so making sure that the boat is going as fast as possible. And then on the downwind the crew's in charge of the kite, so the same idea, just making sure the kite trims perfectly, goes as fast as possible.
Skills needed to be a good 49er sailor are probably quick thinking, and you got to be pretty athletic and have good agility.
They're very fast boats, so you got to, in terms of tactics and strategy, you got to be able to think very quickly, and that makes things exciting. If you delay a response to a situation, it can get very tight and the adrenaline gets high. So yeah, a really competitive fleet and really fun.
And there's also really interesting tactics and strategy, especially with the asymmetric kite downwind. It's a really fast, fun class to sail, so it kind of sells itself, I think. Really cool to watch on the water. I think the boats look awesome, so it's not a very difficult sell, I think. You got to really try and just keep the mood in the boat cool and calm, and then just pick away places if it's not going well.
Being a two-man boat, it's quite nice to share the journey together. You're always with someone, the same idea as you, the same goals, same focus, so that's a really enjoyable part of it as well.
Time to catch up with other action from around the world now. And in the USA, Tom Slingsby's Australia won their 5th consecutive Sail GP final, despite a mediocre performance in the qualifying fleet races. Competing on Lake Michigan, the back-to-back reigning champions put on a sailing masterclass in the final to finish ahead of Canada and Britain.
I'm not even going to celebrate, this is ridiculous.
The 69th edition of the Rolex Duralia Classic saw a 141-strong fleet, taking on a weather-shortened course of just 206 nautical miles. Despite light winds, Magic Carpet cubed past Arca SGR in sight of the finish to take line honours, while Lisa R was named overall winner on handicap. The 52nd biannual Newport to Bermuda race took place in a mixture of sunshine and showers. The Mod 70 Argo set the fastest time in the event's 116-year history, but the St David Lighthouse Trophy for handicap winner went to the Cal 40 Illusion. 85 boats representing 5 classes were in Cascais, Portugal, for the 3rd edition of the Napuri Foundation Sailing Trophy. The 107-foot super yacht Green Eyes claimed honours in the NHC class, while Racing for the Planet dominated the VO65s, with Volvo Ocean Race winner Jack Boutel guiding his team to victory. Bodrum, Turkey played host to 276 sailors from 61 nations at Arcas Optimist World Championships. The USA took top honours in the team competition, while Thailand's Weka Banyaban claimed the individual event in a dramatic last day of racing. Finally, Christian Zura's Black Star sailing team won the GC32 World Championship in Lagos, Portugal. K-Challenge of France led the regatta early on, but Black Star shone in the second half, finishing top 3 in every one of the last 10 races. Carve up wind, pull the bar in and release. This is Big Air. The Qatar Airways GKA Big Air Worlds featured 3 disciplines: twin tip, strapless and foiling. It was the first time in Big Air's 24-year history that all 3 were being contested at the same event, and Tarifa, Spain, was the perfect location. The championship used a knockout format, culminating in head-to-head finals. In the men's twin tip, 16 competitors were reaching heights of 20 metres and distances over 100 metres, while being judged on a combination of best tricks and overall impression. After some impressive heats, Italy's Andrea Principi found himself facing local favourite and 2016 freestyle world champion Liam Whaley in the final. As the clock ticked down, Principi swapped his kite for a faster, more manoeuvrable one. With just enough time to perform one more trick, a double boogie loop, he secured victory with the sport's most technical and daring manoeuvre.
Still, I can't believe that I'm world champion. I say it in my head, now I die, now I die, now I die. At the end, my kite catch me, so I not end.
Brazilian prodigy Michael Sol was going for a 5th twin-tip world title to go with her 4 freestyle crowns.
Yes!
So it came as little surprise when the 17-year-old took top honours, courtesy of a mega loop with a lake back roll.
Big air is really just you're going for it. If you go for it, you go for it. There's no midterm in it. And I feel like this whole competition was really just me going in, all in, and just wanting the win.
Sol also managed a 3rd place finish in the strapless surfboard, but eventually lost out to French teen sensation Capucine Delanoë. At the end of 2021, Italy's Ayrton Cozzolino had missed out on the men's strapless world title to Australia's James Carew. But he was back to his unbeatable best in Tarifa, adding to his haul of 4 GKA world titles in an event he'd essentially developed on his own. That left the men's hydrofoil competition to wrap up the trio of disciplines at the championships. Reaching jump heights of over 18 metres, France's Charles Brodel claimed his 2nd world title, throwing in a boogie loop on his way to victory.
Just amazing.
That's it for now, but next month, Ben Ainsley is back on home water. And foiling gets the para development treatment.